Once again, welcome to this marvelous YouTube channel. It is one of your tutors, Xembo Steven, a student of Gulu University. Today, I'll be taking you through search strategies, and you may ask yourself what search strategies are. So today we shall have an introduction to search strategies. Search strategies. What are search strategies in information literacy? So what exactly are search strategies? You're asking yourself what this word search strategies is. You're studying this information literacy. You want to be an illiterate. So is exactly what are search strategies? Search strategies are methods and techniques you can use to refine your search results, making them more relevant and accurate. I want us to understand this concept. Search strategies. Search strategies. Methods and techniques. These are the keywords here. Methods and techniques you can use to refine your search results. Methods and techniques you can use to refine your search results, making them more relevant and accurate. So these are techniques or methods we are going to use to refine our results, making them more accurate and relevant to the topic that we shall be referring them to. So when we come here, they are saying that key search strategies for researching domestic violence in Africa. So here, as we're reading this heading, it says key search strategies for researching domestic violence in Africa. Key search strategies for researching domestic violence in Africa. So number one, we're having that use specific keywords, use Boolean operators, use quotation marks for exact phrases, use filters and limits. Now, before we go far, I want you to give you an image on what we are trying to display here. They are saying that key strategies for researching domestic violence in Africa. They're giving us what are the major key strategies are we supposed to follow up in a way that our research for domestic violence in Africa to be relevant and to look the outcome should be relevant to our research. So in a way, we have keywords that we use in search strategies, which are specific keywords. We have to use Boolean operators. We have to use quotation marks for exact phrases or filters and limits. So we're giving an example of domestic violence in Africa as we are conducting our research. So as continuing with researching domestic violence in Africa, using these concepts, these key search strategies, these are key search strategies. We are using these tools or methods to extract now information that is more and more relevant. So when we are using these keys so far, we can now use identification of key concepts. From our previous, that's it, use specific keywords. So when we are continuing to identify the keywords, identification of key concepts, they're like break down your research question or topic into its main components or themes to form the foundation of your research. Break down your research question or topic into its main components or themes to form the foundation of your research. So now we are breaking down the concepts here, the main key components, like researching domestic violence in Africa. Now breaking this down in order to come up with the key concepts to build a foundation for our research. So for example, for the research question, cause of domestic violence in Africa. This is now a question. The cause of domestic violence in Africa. The key concepts could be domestic violence and then Africa. We're talking about domestic violence. That's the key concept. Domestic violence. Another thing is Africa. It's another item here. Domestic violence is a key concept. Hey, you get aware of domestic violence. You're aware that domestic violence is existing. Now, which side, which area, which point in Africa? So now, you should know that the difference between broad and specific searches. For example, searching domestic violence in Kenya or women's rights and violence in South Africa will help you find information specific to the country or region, which is crucial for understanding local dynamics. In other words, they're giving us that you should know the difference between broad and specific key searches. For example, now you should be in a minimum place. Let's say you're searching about only Kenya or South Africa. It is giving you a specific point to strategize, to settle, to lay a foundation and be like, I'm standing on Kenya, I'm standing about South Africa, and talk about the domestic violence in that area. Because generally, you can't take domestic violence as an African community. You have to stand out with a certain community, and that's why I like we should know the difference between broad and specific searches. So now, after getting the specific searches, it's when we make it broad. Be like, broadly in Africa, we have certain countries that are carrying out domestic violence. So after carrying specific searches, because you understand the crucial for understanding the local dynamics. So as we continue with our presentation, domestic violence as one of the themes that we have scooped from our question, the saying that domestic violence is a form of abuse, physical, emotional, or sexual, by one pattern against another in a domestic setting, such as in marriage or a cohabitation. It is an abuse and it is physical, it is emotional or sexual by a pattern onto another pattern in a domestic setting, such as marriage or cohabitation. Domestic violence exists in a way that these people have terms they agree on. Now it reaches a point where these terms are no longer working. So in other words, they reach disagreements, and that's domestic violence. And then the way these people handle the violence, it ends up being more crucial. So members, I would like to thank you for watching. We shall be meeting in the next videos, but remember to subscribe, remember to like and follow, and also share for our fellow members to share such a good information as we're learning the main key concepts and discussing the major terms and the major scenarios that are happening in Africa, so that we can fight together, we can combine the energy so that we reach a common goal. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your attention.